100%. Yeah, shin splints suck. The reason shin splints happen is typically because of an overuse of the muscle, right? When we overuse other muscles, they get sore and they hurt. This is a different version of that, but specifically to that area of the body. So if you're jumping too much, if you're not stretching, if you're jumping on a very hard surface like concrete, this is why you always see me using some kind of a mat, is to kind of relieve a little bit of the impact. If you're jumping and you're flat-footed the whole time versus being on the balls of your feet, these are all things that will contribute to potentially getting shin splints. So you're doing the right thing now. Obviously, you're working with Chris, so he's taking care of you. You don't want to be doing more volume. You want to rest and help your legs recover. But while you're doing this, you're asking what are some of the things that you can do to still move around somewhat, or some skills to still practice, or what exercises can you do? Chris already gave you a list of stretches, so you're good. It's just, honestly, you could target the calves, but really everything posterior chain, everything lower body is good, right? And I'm sure he's got you covered on that. In terms of jump rope things, what can you do when you're not jumping? And like you said, you've been doing multiples, which it doesn't surprise me that the multiples might lead to shin splints if your feet are hitting the ground pretty hard, or if you're doing a lot of them back to back every single day, right? What you can do is try out different styles of skills, such as wraps or swings or rope releases, all these different things that maybe they're not really your main area of interest, but they exist and they're things that you can play with, right? So for example, there's this wrap, which is a pretty straightforward wrap, which I'm sure you're aware of, right? This is, kind of one of the more basic arm wraps, but you can also do something like a leg wrap and come out, and again, you don't have to jump the end there, but you can see how that exists, right? And there's a lot of different ways for you to then keep that rope moving around your body and still do, and like obviously releases, right? You can still do a mick release without leaving the ground, and these kinds of things, you can still you can do all that without leaving the ground. Obviously at the end there's a little bit of a jump, but you get the idea. So you can, one of the things that you can do, especially if you want to still dedicate an hour or two of practice time, you can go on Instagram, you can go on Facebook, you can go on YouTube and look at people who are doing very intense wrapping combinations, people like Devin or Zach or Porter, or these guys, right? And download the video or screen record it and go frame by frame and use this as, obviously it's not the same type of jumping you're used to, but it really makes you think and pay attention and focus on what's happening. And obviously you were in Flow and Grind, so you have the tools to back up what they're doing and actually deconstruct the skills that are happening. But you can kind of use that as, obviously normally that practice session would be more physical, right? And now we can kind of view this, for now, as you're recovering from shin splints, we can view this time as more mental jump rope, right? Focusing on the breaking down and understanding something that's very complex, which is the wide world of wraps. That was a tongue twister. So